Ever since the IPL retention rules came out, you know who's the happiest? CSK fans.
I'm also happy, by the way. Though I'm a KKR supporter, but I'm also happy.
I don't know why you're happy, but CSK fans are the happiest. You know why?
Oh.
Because the BCCI has put an MS Dhoni clause in the retentions.
I mean, I exactly knew that you were going to say that.
It is MS Dhoni clause.
Obviously,
you have to say it.
But I thought it will make you happy as well.
But why? I think it's unfair on other teams. Don't you think? Okay, first of all, a little bit of clarity. You know what we are talking about. So BCCI, when they listed out the retention rules, one of those rules says a capped Indian player will become uncapped if the player has in the last 5 calendar years preceding the year in which the relevant season is held not played in the starting 11 in international cricket or does not have a central contract with the BCCI.
You know, इसका मतलब बताऊं उसके पहले let's talk about one thing. In the list of retention rules, do you know which number was this?
Number 7.
Number 7.
Number 7.
Thala for a reason.
Thala for a reason. But why? Why do you think it's fair? I think it's very unfair.
Okay. So first of all, I'll come to why Dhoni, that point later on. But then to answer that it's unfair to other teams, I think it's not just for Dhoni. If other teams also have a player like Dhoni, whom they think that they can retain as an uncapped player, they could very well do that.
But why have that clause just for retaining an uncapped player? Also, who becomes an uncapped
player? There's no IPL without Dhoni.
No, there's no IPL without Dhoni. I get it, okay. But let CSK spend that much money, right? If you're retaining a fourth player, okay, you would have to spend 18 crore rupees. 18, obviously. 14, 11 and then 18. But with an uncapped player.
So that was what CSK was waiting for. Now, for an uncapped player, if you want to retain an uncapped player, by the way, you'll just have to flash out 4 crore rupees, right?
Yeah.
And they actually wanted this rule in place because Dhoni himself.
But don't you think they've made this rule just for Dhoni?
They have, because BCCI also wants Dhoni to play the IPL. One more season, everyone wants him to be there.
I completely agree. Dhoni is box office. Dhoni is blockbuster. Dhoni fetches spectators to the ground. If Dhoni is there, people are watching.
You answered it.
Everything is great. No, great. But it's also about what is right and what is wrong.
So how is it
wrong? You are trying to...
See, there was an IPL retention meeting, right?
No, but because you are trying to be partial. You are
partial? Okay. Let just answer me.
Who else can you think of?
Come on, man. I can't believe
who
this.
Else can you think of?
This discussion.
Who else can you think of? You tell me, apart from Dhoni, who else can you think of can fit into this?
So why didn't any other team made a player that big that they actually wanted to retain him after he had quit playing international cricket 5 years back?
Retain Dhoni. I am not saying don't retain Dhoni.
Okay. Let me answer that. Let me answer that for you. Dhoni himself, when he said that he'll decide upon his retirement after last IPL, this was the clause that he was waiting for. Had this clause not been there, Dhoni would have retired because he didn't want them to flush out 18 crore rupees on Dhoni. At a time when you know that Dhoni won't play the entire match, Dhoni won't play entire match, and because of that impact player rule, he'll probably just come out to bat for few overs, and that is what the fans want.
No, but do you think he's going to be batting there just for a few overs and he's not going to be playing?
I think there would be matches where Dhoni won't keep as well. I think that is what they wanted.
But there could be some matches, but my entire point, okay, right now is how is it fair on other teams? Yes, they do not have player who's, played 5 years before or whatever. Okay. At the end of the day, retention rules should be same.
They are same. It's for other teams as well. If they want, they can.
They made a rule just for Dhoni.
They did, but on the face of it,
how is that fair?
In the IPL retention meeting, every team was asked about the rules they wanted.
But
no one opposed this.
So, were you there in the IPL? You don't know what happened in the
Come
IPL
on,
meeting.
There are many videos where we tell according to sources. Now I'm not trying to believe.
I'm not trying to believe this because I actually feel this is. A lot of people are, by the way, aggrieved. A lot of fans on social media have called this out. They said, how could the IPL decide rules single-handedly for just one player?
Okay, we are talking about Dhoni here.
We're
talking about Dhoni.
So Dhoni is not bigger than the league.
Even if I say that BCCI made one exception, especially for Dhoni, let it be for one season. Yeah, come on.
Why do make exceptions for Dhoni all the time?
All the time?
No, you remember.
Which other exception they made?
You remember the time when he walked down to the field?
He was reprimanded for that as well.
He was not really reprimanded. people get banned
See.
for such a such
Yeah, Virat Kohli
things
does that
happen.
all the time. You tell me
Virat
in the previous IPL,
Virat
okay.
Kohli goes on and
Okay, now I'll give you an example. In the last IPL, Harshit Rana celebrated a wicket by blowing a kiss. He was banned for a game. Virat Kohli did the same multiple times. He wasn't banned. Come on,
Virat Kohli lost his match fee.
Virat Kohli had inflicted a run out and blew a kiss.
Harshit Rana did it for the second time, if I'm not wrong. That's why the third time he stopped himself also from doing it because he realized
he was banned the first time only. Second time
second time he was reprimanded already, and then he did it again, and that's why he
but
was
then Virat Kohli does it all the time.
No, Virat Kohli might be in your face and all, but it is very different from what you're talking about.
But there are certain exceptions as well in cricket for certain players.
But how is that right?
How is that wrong?
Dhoni is not bigger than the league. I'm saying it's actually on BCCI's part where you have to call it out, and I am calling it out. You might agree that okay, for Dhoni they should make an exception. But boss, they will keep making exceptions next year.
It's not like they have actually mentioned it that it's for Dhoni.
No, but it's for Dhoni only. You can see
you're saying that, right?
No, everybody is saying that. If you are not saying that, you are a fool. I'm sorry to say that clause is only there for
That
Dhoni.
is for Dhoni, I agree. But then they have tried to portray it in such a way that it's for everyone.
So that's what I'm trying to say.
That is for everyone.
But everybody, also like fans are not idiots. Okay, fans, everybody.
I'll tell you something.
I saw on social media last night, and there were people who, like other team fans, of course, because CSK fans won't be complaining. They were like, "Bhai, ये सब धोनी के लिए क्यों किया जा रहा है?" Why?
Okay, I'll tell you something. If there's any Dhoni hater who's watching this, if you actually hate Mahendra Singh Dhoni, that's because of the fact. No, there are many haters as well. Come on.
There could be haters. I'm not a hater.
If someone hates Dhoni, that's because they feel that Dhoni doesn't add value to the team, right? So when he is now playing for the team, you should be happy. Why complain?
No, but Dhoni hater, I'm not talking about Dhoni haters. I'm not a Dhoni hater. I actually adore Dhoni. I loved him, what he has done.
I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about the people.
But I'm talking about the fact that it is still unfair. In my mind, it is still unfair. You will say it's not.
See,
but at the end of the day, you have
subjective.
To
I agree. Let's leave it to the people.
Let's leave it to the people.
Let's leave it to them
because we will not stop otherwise.
Obviously, yeah, there are some names you have to make exceptions for, and
I disagree. I disagree on that count. But because next year it's going to be Virat Kohli, another year it's going to be Rohit Sharma. You can't keep making exception for one player. Did they make exceptions for Saurav Ganguly, Sachin Tendulkar?
It's not like this rule is something new. It was in place 2 years back.
No, it wasn't. This is the first time they have.
No, that uncapped player rule was there 2 years back. They scrapped it.
For 5 years, this rule, 5 years.
They scrapped it before the last mega auction.
Why just 5-year rule?
Because it was 5 years at that time as well. Last time as well, it was 5 years.
They brought it because Dhoni last played an ODI for India in 2019.
Okay, now tell me one thing. When that IPL retention meeting happened, every team was asked about how many players they should get to retain, right? And some said 3, some said 2, some said 5, some said 8. So then BCCI reached a middle ground that it should be 5 or 6, right? And they were also asked about the fact that if anyone wants that uncapped player rule back, CSK said that we want it. No one opposed, so they said okay. Come on.
I genuinely think it's wrong. It is definitely only there for Dhoni to play another season, and
it is. I agree to that. That it is
for CSK fans because they are the only ones who are going to be happy about this. They're only going to pay.
I'm not a huge CSK fan, but I am happy for that.
But they are only going to pay 4 crore rupees for a player. They should have ideally, if he was being retained at number 4, they would have paid how much? 18 crores.
My point is, Dhoni himself wanted that rule in place because he would have announced his retirement.
BCCI wanted more players in the auction pool, and that is why they put the 4th and the 5th player rule. That if you're going to retain 5 players, you're going to have to shell out way more than your, the 4th and 5th player are going to cost you 29 crores in total. 29, right?
So the thing is, if you actually make all retentions, your purse will be down by 75 crores.
So otherwise, if you look at it, they're only going to be spending 4 crores extra in comparison to 11 crores that CSK would have spent. It was Dhoni at
you remember when Dhoni actually asked CSK that don't make him the first retention in that auction as well. So he does those things, right?
He does those things, but I am saying still 4 crores to 18 crores because you are now making Dhoni an uncapped player, which I feel is a blah rule altogether. How can a capped player simply become uncapped?
it was a rule that was in place previously.
It
as
was
well,
a
Siddharth.
bullshit rule then. I'm sorry for my language, but it was
maybe,
a bad rule
maybe.
even then. It's a bad rule. I'm
I
not even
think
sure whether it was a
they
rule
are just
before.
trying to save
Can't
money,
recall.
and
I
don't
only
mind that.
CSK,
I don't mind that.
only CSK are saving money with this. That's why
because
I
no
feel-
one else
that's
produced
why,
a player with that legacy.
That's
na?
why other fans are not happy. Some days down the line, it's going to be Rohit Sharma for some other team.
Should be.
And
I
then
think
Virat
if it's
Kohli.
for Rohit Sharma as
And-
well, I don't mind that.
Yeah, of course, because I'm sure BCCI also understand what's box office. It's Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, and MS
You
Dhoni,
said
all
it.
three playing. I get that, but trying to push it in the way they have is very funny.
I think that was
like
clever.
Uncapped.
I think it was clever.
Anyway, on that note, please do let us know in the comments what you make of this entire number 7 clause in the IPL retention rules for MS Dhoni. I'm calling it the MS Dhoni clause. That's all.
Chala for a reason.